One of my all-time favorite Vietnamese noodle soups has to be Hủ Tiếu Nam Vang. So start off by parboiling pork bones. I use pork neck bones for this. And then after parboiling them, you want to rinse them thoroughly and then add them to a 24-quart pot. I use 16-inch long daikon that you would need to peel and cut into 4-inch pieces. This will sweeten the broth. And then I use a bunch of cilantro stems. By removing the leaves and keeping the stems, you're going to want to use around 50 stems or so. And with most Vietnamese noodle soup broth, you want to charbroil onions along with ginger. And in this particular recipe, you want to use dried squid and charbroil them as well. It gives it that signature flavor for this soup. I like to charbroil the onions and the ginger until they're black, like so. Add them to the pot along with the rest of the broth ingredients, which consist of the cilantro stems, dried shrimp, charbroiled squid, rock sugar, daikon, kosher salt, and mushroom powder. Fill the 24-quart pot with water all the way to the rim, then bring it to a boil. Once it starts boiling, skim the scum and reduce the heat to low and let it simmer for 3 hours. While you're doing that, marinate the ground pork with fish sauce, sugar, black pepper, chopped garlic along with chopped shallots and mushroom powder. Mix everything together and set it aside. In a pot of boiling water, add your quail eggs and boil them for 5 minutes. In a large skillet on medium-high heat, add oil and then pan fry the shrimp with the shell on until it's cooked and then set that aside. Then in the same skillet on high heat, add the marinated pork, break it up, and then cook it untouched for 3 minutes. Turn the meat over and cook for another 3 minutes untouched. And you're going to want to cook the pork until it's no longer pink. Once the quail eggs have cooled off, you want to roll them and then gently peel the quail eggs. The shell of the quail eggs is super thin, so you just want to gently do that. And then once the shrimp is cooled, you want to peel the shrimp as well. After 3 hours of simmering, you're going to remove everything in the broth. Then you're going to want to transfer the clear broth back into the pot with the strainer. There's 2 ways to eat this noodle soup. One is to just eat it kind of dry with the sauce, which is detailed in the recipe. You add all of your topping, which are all optional, so it's up to you. With the wontons, I have the recipe on my cooking website. I like to garnish my soup with Chinese celery along with bean sprouts, top it with the sauce, and add just a little bit of the hot broth, mix everything together. And I like to serve this with a side of a bowl of the broth garnished with chopped cilantro and green onions. Otherwise, a very traditional way to eat this is just as a soup. So add all of your protein, then your sliced onions or whatever other garnish you want. Add the hot broth. I especially love eating this with garlic chives. And of course, a chili oil paste. Squeeze some lime, and there you go. This is my favorite noodle soup ever.